Good afternoon. Welcome to the first episode of BS with Bill. This evening, we're joined by the current governor, Quinn Marino. How are you doing today, Quinn?
I'm doing okay, and yourself?
Yes, not too bad. Cannot complain. Over it useless. Um, we thought we'd have this quick sort of little talk show session with you, just so people know really what on earth a governor does and sort of how you got into it, and sort of what your experience has been like. For our first question, what sort of led you to go into public life? What made you want to do that?
So I was initially approached and asked if I wanted to run as lieutenant governor for Ella Brightstar. Um, I didn't have anything against the idea, so I said yes, and we started the campaign. Um, but things happened with Ella that
Mm.
had her convicted, and I ended up taking over her position as the governor.
And what was that sort of? Take us back to the campaign. What was it like, sort of during the period when you obviously had that nomination session going on? Having all your background checks, and then leading through to the sort of campaign itself.
Yeah, it was about as normal as you can imagine. There were people that spoke up against it, and there were people that supported it. It We just pushed on through.
Fantastic. And what was the sort of election night like when you were over? Because it was the French Laundry, I believe, wasn't it? Sat there,
Hmm.
election results coming through. Sort of, you guys, or it was the previous sheriff at the time, wasn't it? What was election night like?
It was pretty stressful, but we we kept our cool throughout the election party, and unfortunately, we had heard very shortly after our successful campaign that Liam Kavanaugh had suffered a heart attack, which was unfortunate.
Can imagine. And talk us through the first like 30 days. How was it when when you're initially lieutenant governor?
Well, I ended up doing quite a few notary application approvals for people, as we didn't have a Secretary of State at the current time to do them themselves.
Okay. And obviously, as you mentioned earlier, we were all aware that, well, many of us at least were aware that, your predecessor was, Ella was arrested and convicted, and sent to Bolingbroke, and then impeached.
Hmm.
What was it like sort of transitioning from lieutenant governor to, to the actual head honcho as the governor itself?
I dealt with all of the backlash and hate that Ella had accumulated from what she had done. It's basically finally calmed down now. At least I hope. Uh, I just kept pushing through. It was a rough adjustment period.
What would you say your highlight has been across both? It can be from either lieutenant governor through to governor, but what would you say your highlight's been throughout the entire process?
My activity. I'm always around. I would like to say, and people have also told me that I'm one of the most active governors that has existed.
Fantastic. And if you had to identify the sort of lowest point of your political career, what would you say that was?
Dealing with all of this after I had been divorced.
Oh, sorry to hear that. But say I'm sure many of us will remember when you ran for lieutenant governor. It was Lilligard Marino, wasn't it? And
Hmm.
obviously, since becoming governor, it's changed back to Marino. Their loss, as it were. I think it's fair to say.
Hmm.
And finally, obviously, we're nearing the end of the nomination period to be, your replacement. Obviously, we've noticed you're not standing again. In this situation, I think that's probably understandably. But sort of, what advice would you give to any of the candidates standing for governor and or state rep?
Don't let anything anyone says get to you. You can do as good as you believe that you can do.
Fantastic. And what are your plans after you've sort of retired from political life? You gonna scarper off to Cayo Perico, or move out of state or start a band or something?
I'm gonna go right back to what I used to do: mechanic work, selling cars, and booking DJs for DJ Spooky.
Fantastic. An exciting time by the sound of it for you after politics.
Hmm.
Thank you very much for being with us today, Quinn. We really appreciate it, and best of luck with going back into your career after politics.
Thank you.